I'm gonna print it again for you. Somebody around here got some wrong with it. Yeah. Good evening and welcome to our May 15th budget workshop. We have a quorum present with council members Karn, Arnold, and McKenzie. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. We are ready to get going. Most of our time tonight is going to be spent with the fire department. And so we will start with fire administration. Questions on the org chart on page 2.
Chief, this,
Can you turn on your microphone, please?
same question as always. Any vacancies here in this?
No.
Okay, and but you're asking for an additional.
An additional fire inspector investigator to help the fire marshal out with the 6 West, and he needs help anyway with his inspections, business inspections, company level inspections.
Well, you know, I guess you're aware we've been stepping up inspections just in general, but
Yes.
so with that's going to include. I mean, because he's been meeting with the task force and
Correct.
all of that business. Okay, that's for Roderick, I guess. Is this Roderick?
Okay.
Is that his? Yeah.
Yes.
That's mine.
He needs that. What was the other thing? I got 2. Oh, okay.
Just trying to see what the salary is for that funded position. I just don't see any. Is there paperwork in there?
It's not funded.
No, but what that would be if it was going to be funded.
It's
Where is that at? What page is it?
It's on one of the exhibits.
No, Exhibit D, I believe it is D.
yeah. Should be
Is it,
salary is 59.
Is it in the back? Because I don't have it in the front.
About 59, 191.
So it's in the back. I mean the back of it. Okay, okay.
Jumps up.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
59 to 99.
That's what benefits.
Right.
But most benefits don't jump up there. You take it up.
Any other questions on the org chart? We'll move on to page 1.
Well, he has the, I guess the jump is the EMT benefits and all that stuff. Is that something? That's
No,
kind
we're not getting an incentive for EMT right now, but the salary is 59,000, and with benefits, look like it comes to 99,000. Yes.
Althea, and I'm not against adding the position, but Althea.
Yes, sir.
So this position is 59, and with the benefits it jumps to 99. That's usually not that large of a percentage jump with benefits with the average salary, is it?
Well,
Jumped up. It's
pension is 20.
double.
Yes, because the fringe benefits, your pension right now is showing at 24.04% of whatever the salary is, as well as you have health insurance, and that's just for a single. 9,023. It increases if that person has a family, but
Is this a difference because it's a civil service position, or what?
no, all our positions are set up this way. But he has additional equipment.
I was going to say they don't, but the benefits don't almost double the salary.
It's about 30 to 40% of whatever the salary is.
Yeah, but I've never. This is probably that explains it, the equipment and stuff. That's the there's some difference.
Training, there's an increase for operational costs as well when you add this position.
Okay, now so you add in office supplies and other stuff that we don't add in when we normally. Okay.
Yeah, but
Furniture.
Okay, there's some different. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So there are some differences there.
Yes.
All right,
Questions on page 1?
but essentially, it would be the 59 plus the 24.5 normally.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Okay, that explains it. All right.
Questions on page 1? I've got one, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
Line 52, 57, 43. Looks like you asked for 145,000 for,
Yes.
and was that to renovate the Public safety building?
Our fire station, yes.
right.
We have the flooring, the building is about 20 years old.
right?
Been operating it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. So the cabinets, plus we have more females on the department now, so we're trying to put walls up to separate their sleeping quarters.
Right.
So we just need to renovate.
And so none of that was included. It was that a request for 130,000? Is that right? I think that's in one of the
130.
exhibit.
Yes.
Okay.
Chief, also see that your salary's still in here, so does that mean you reconsidered in your stand?
Well, there's a possibility, yes.
Well, I'm gonna make this, and I've been authorized to offer you double your salary minus half. So we want you to reconsider.
Okay. Yes.
I just
Thank
want to
you.
put that out there.
No
I
matter
appreciate
what, we're gonna pay you until your last day. So don't worry about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions on page 1? Actually, I have one for Ms. Fleur Bradley in regard to that, the renovations to the building. Could that come from any other fund? I know that it was slated to come from the general fund.
It could come from the
No, you were on. Yep.
yeah, it's not showing on down there. It could come from hotel motel, but I might be at my capacity at 75% that I can actually transfer over to the general fund.
Okay. Just thinking of options because we've got a 20-year-old building and hasn't.
And actually car rental, but it's more for if we're replacing items, I would have to check into that because car rental should be used for capital.
All right. Any other questions on page 1? Moving on to page 2. Page 3. Was this the 15-year-old vehicle that got nixed? I think it was a 14 or 15-year-old vehicle. I'm sorry, let me give you the line. That's not fair. 547590.
Yes, well, this is the training truck. We do have a training chief now, and he's driving, I think it's a 20-year-old vehicle, and that's to replace it.
Any other questions on page 3? Moving on to the budget transaction report. Any questions there? Questions on the exhibits? Moving on to fire suppression. Questions on the org chart?
And Chief, all your positions are filled.
We have 5 vacancies in suppression.
And suppression.
Yes.
Okay, where are those at? Is it firefighters or?
5 firefighters.
Okay,
Yes.
so 5. Okay.
Chief, how long have those positions
Let's see
been
what we got
vacant?
here.
I would say over the last
Okay.
4 months, maybe
Just
5
got that.
months. We had a few people resign, had a few terminated.
Any of these been vacant longer than that, by chance? What, FAO, what is that?
As fire apparatus operator. That's
Any
the
of them been,
biggest.
any of them been about a year or closer to a year, perhaps?
No, because I think we had some recruits that we had hired, and a few of them
Okay.
didn't make it through.
I know we usually don't fill up all the way generally every year, but, okay. Does that sound about average, what you leave, what we
We normally-
we usually have about 4 or 5?
4, something like that, yes.
Okay.
Questions on page 1? Chief, line 51, 5017, the EMS incentive pay.
Yes.
Looks like we've kind of fallen short in the last 2 fiscal years on that one. Can you give a little more context to that line item and what we need to do to get there if we need to?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, that is the paramedic incentive, and paramedics receive, I think, it's, an additional $3,500 a year. I know we've been short of paramedics over the last few years. That's probably what's going on.
All right. And the next line,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
51, 50, 20 on overtime, is that $250,000 number that we're budgeting for this upcoming fiscal year realistic in relation to what we've done in the last 2 years?
If I'm not mistaken, we've gone over in overtime, and that's because of the shortages.
And we make up for it in the difference in savings and salary.
Okay. Other questions on page 1?
Chief, we did give the EMT bonus, right? We took care of that.
We did not, no. We talked about it.
Because there were 2 of them. One was the paramedics and one was the EMT.
Correct. And they just discussed it, but a decision wasn't made.
Which one was the lesser number? Because I remember,
Well, I do know we have less paramedics, but the EMTs is because I think we were raising the paramedic incentive to $5,000 instead of $3,500, and we were giving the EMTs, I think it's $3,000.
if you got to pick one, which one you want?
You was gonna try to hit me with that one. Both. I mean, they both are important.
If you got to pick one, though, which one do you want?
You have a choice, or, I mean, like I said, those positions are very important, and 75% of the calls that we respond to requires EMTs and paramedics.
That's why I'm asking.
I mean, paramedics, we provide advanced medical care. We're able to push medications that the EMTs can't, but
Let me ask you like this.
it's,
How many EMTs do you have and how many paramedics do you have in terms of
We
number
sh-
right now?
right now, paramedics, we have, I think it's about 18 paramedics. EMTs, everybody else are trained as EMTs, so I think it's about 66, maybe a little less.
Okay. What were the EMTs total out for that incentive pay?
What do you mean? As
Do you
far
have
as-
that line number for if it was the EMTs, the 66? What does that look like?
I don't have that number.
No, I'm asking the question, what would that look like in terms of cost? That's, the EMTs is the additional 3,500 incentive?
No, the EMTs were asking for 3,000.
The 3,000.
3,000.
Okay, well, somebody is
66 times 3,000?
because it's a one-time a year, right? Incentive, is that right?
198,000.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
All right. You got 66 of them, you got 18 paramedics.
Yeah, I'm saying 66, but that may be less EMTs. It's not
Well,
66.
let's just say 70, just to round it out.
No, we'll go down on the
It's
EMTs.
less, it's less.
Yeah, it'll be less than
So,
EMTs.
like, more like 60?
I would say about 40 or 45, something like that.
What does 45 look like, Teresa? 135,000. And I'm asking because I'd assumed that EMT is going to touch more of our residents than paramedics do. Obviously, they're both serious issues or whatever, but when we talk about, and I'm not saying what we can do or what we can't do. I just want to get a gauge in terms of if there is an additional spend, where it's probably best spread over to cover the most number of people as possible, right?
And what we try to do is staff all of our vehicles with a paramedic, at least that, to provide advanced EMS care.
Well, we talked about it, and the other agencies are giving an EMT bonus, so they're a lot more. They are more competitive than us, and like you said, 75. The last monthly report I got, 91% medical calls, and I often used to joke with the chief, but I don't really joke anymore. Yes, it's a fire department, but technically, this is a medical department. 91%. Let's be for real. And then the crazy thing is, the 10% that are actually fire calls are usually health related. Kitchen grease fires, smoking in bed. So it's health is. But anyway, and we had talked around. Because I asked you before which one, if you got to pick one. If we could, for me, speaking for me, if we could find that 135, I think that would be a good spend. So I just want city manager just earmark that if there's any interest in that. I certainly am. Like I said, I don't think we can't do it all for everybody or anybody in any department, but I think.
Councilor, you're making our job harder and harder every day.
Hey,
I don't know where the money going to come from.
That's the name of the game.
I'd just like to add, Krista just sent me, I'm sorry, the increase in pension costs. It went up by 5%, and that equates to about $1.3 million increase that I didn't budget for. And that's something we have to pay. Our contribution percentage has gone up by 5%. Got that today.
All right. Something else on your list, city manager? All right. All right.
Okay.
And this is all and after.
And all of his grill, right?
That's happened since you've been up.
No.
So out there, you got more stuff that's just now coming in all of a sudden.
And it will be presented. No, it will be presented to Wednesday. Health insurance costs, and as well as the self-insured.
After we doing these sessions.
They're just coming in. That happened last year.
Additional questions on page 1?
51 and 5060, Chief. I noticed. So that is we have a special rate of pay for our fire suppression if they're working on holidays. Is that what that is?
Well, yes.
Okay.
If they work holiday, that's holiday pay.
Yeah, that's nice to see that. You don't always see that.
Any other questions on page 1? Moving on to page 2. Chief, 52,6200. The training line fell pretty short on training. Any reason why? Want to make sure everybody gets the training that they need.
This is in suppression. We just didn't have a lot of people that went to outside training. We've been doing a lot of training. Well, we didn't have a training officer for about a year and a half or so, and so we didn't have a lot of people to apply to go out to outside training, and that's what that line is for.
Okay.
We had tried to. Thank you. We tried to schedule some outside training and have instructors come in, but there were scheduling conflicts, so we had to cancel those trainers. And we're still trying to see if we can get some people in before we close out. But that's what we've been running into, scheduling conflicts.
Fair enough. Line 53, 7020. Looks like we've gone over that $10,000
Yes.
every year? I mean, just, does it make sense to just put it at a number that it actually is gonna be, whether that's 14 or 15 or whatever?
I think 15,
15?
because that's for all.
I mean, that's where you are, so. And, let's see. Had a question on the Fit for Duty screens. I answered that question myself. And, line 537161. There was a big expenditure of protective clothing this year. You don't anticipate as much in the upcoming fiscal year. Is that number gonna work?
That number will work.
Okay.
Because we purchased the turnout gear last year. One big purchase.
Okay.
I think next year they'll start working on the second set of gears.
Fair enough.
So you want to, do you need to increase that janitorial and cleaning supplies? Or
I think they said 15.
is it 15?
Went to 15 instead of 10.
Okay, so I saw the, okay, I see the units. In the background, in the backup, I see $2,000 here, but,
That's 10,
yeah, I'm reading this all.
15.
Speaking of which, how's your janitor been working out? I know, is that Koku?
Koku, yes.
How many years has he been with us?
He's been with us about 8 years.
Yeah, between 6 and 8.
Has he received a raise in that time?
He's been getting
A COLA or a raise?
I guess the COLA.
All right, well. All right.
Any other questions on page 2?
526170.
526170?
Yeah.
Okay.
Contractual services.
Yes, we increased that line. We are trying to, well, not trying to, we would like to purchase this new software. It is first due, and right now we have Image Trend that we do our reporting with. And we're trying to replace Image Trend with First Due. And First Due will allow us to do a lot more. We could do the fire safety inspections. We could track the fire hydrants when we do fire hydrant testing. Inspections, we put reports in the system. So it does a whole lot more than the system that we have now.
So is the system you got now just inadequate, or you just want to step up to the modern?
We need to step up to the modern, yes. Because that system, if I'm not mistaken, that system been having that about 8 years now, so. And I think they gave us that free.
Additional questions on page 2? Moving on to page 3.
I'm sorry, one more.
Sorry.
537050, the medical supplies. Are we anticipating spending a lot more there? I haven't looked at the backup yet.
It's a Fit for Duty screen, because I had that same question. That's the addition.
This is just the admin, though. This is.
No,
No,
this
it's
we're in suppression.
We're in.
it's Fit for Duty screen there. Like,
But because of the, how can I say it? The leading cause of death is cancer and cardiac arrest in firefighters. What we're trying to do is, we would like to implement this site med. They will come to the site, to the stations, and they will perform as NFPA, the National Fire Protection Agency, 1582 physicals on all the firefighters. And it also does the various cancers that firefighters get, from, I would say, lung cancer. I think it's 9 different cancers that they will test for. Plus they test your hearing, and that's things that we're exposed to throughout the career. So we're just trying to get a baseline of all our firefighters, and it'll be once a year that they'll get it.
Thank you.
I want to kind of put in a plug since we started talking about health. I want to thank you for, all the work that you're doing on the Healthy Looks Good on You
Thank you.
campaign, and even getting us to establish these throughout our ward. And the commercial is that Ward 1, we will be having our Healthy Looks Good on You event on Saturday from 9 to 2 at the Health Department, thanks to our, our fire department. Thank you so much. Okay, had to get that in.
Any other questions on page 2? All right, moving on to page 3.
Chief,
Food.
EMS, I guess that's where the equipment that goes on the trucks and ambulances, is that in here?
Yes.
Okay. In terms of our ambulatory units, how's the ebb and flow looking on the supplies and whatnot? I know we haven't been having issues at 1 in the morning with the College Park Station and the whole 9, and then you got some of this new stuff. What are they asked? I mean, the new EpiPens and the other stuff, and the Narcan pens or whatever.
Yes.
Are we getting a lot of that type of?
Yes, we are.
service?
I won't say the EpiPens we use, the Narcans from time to time, but I know we have supplied the police department with Narcan, and I think they carry them on all of their cars, if I'm not mistaken. So we both departments are using them. But I do know the cost of medications have gone up over the last few
Do you all
years.
share all of those supplies out of your budget, police and fire?
Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, Ron would order them, and PD would pay us for it.
Okay. But so you're good.
We're good with
All right.
medications.
I've got a question on page 3. Food and dietary supplies. Is that enough?
Well, we mainly use that for various events and
Okay.
when we have long fire calls or
Right.
whatever.
I mean, you're already at 107%.
Is that your regular food budget for when they do the 48 hours, or does that include food?
No, that's just
bring
for
their own-
fires.
They bring their own food. Is that?
Or they'll go to the grocery
Right.
store and split the cost.
Okay, got it. Right. Okay.
Just saying, you spent $4,000 in 2023. You're over already.
I would say go up maybe 40.
We'll just do 5.
Okay.
45 or 46.
Every other locality is built, into their budget. It's not that the guys split, the city, allocate so much money.
Okay.
So when firefighters, because the fire station is their home for that
Yes.
24 hours.
Okay.
Everywhere I've worked there, the city
The city.
provides them,
For their food.
yes.
So now we're
And
talking
that's
about
it.
covering the whole food bill?
The city covers, yes.
Chief, what would we be looking at?
Well, where we are right now, we're running about 18 people per day. And I haven't been in the station so long as far as in spending, but I could get a cost for it, so.
Teresa, you hazard a guess? Anybody? I mean,
So that was,
if we put 10 in, would that, that'd be a start, right? Be a good supplement. I mean, I don't know how much they eat. I'd imagine that's it ain't a little.
It's 3 fire stations too,
Right.
not just one.
Okay, so 10 times 3 would be
Well,
30.
Even if we looked at maybe just providing staples, some basic things and offer, the firefighters could still bring their meals, but if we're just looking at maybe staples, just to, some basics.
Yeah, because they do have access to Sam's, well, not Sam's, but Costco's. So they,
Making sure there's always more than adequate water, just the basics, and we're not looking at, steaks and stuff, but but we do need to. Basically what you're saying with health, got to eat healthy though.
Now,
A lot of them would do fish and chicken.
Yeah.
Now, if we do it out of our budget, I guess you're gonna regulate what the bringing in there.
Yes.
You know.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, well, it's not just gonna be free for all in there.
They're not bringing in receipts and we're reimbursing them, because we're not doing that.
No, we won't do that.
Well, I mean, so
We could
you're gonna be in
regulate
charge
it.
of the grocery list, I guess, more
We
or
could do
less.
that.
Well, somebody's got to, because they, you know,
Yeah.
they'll just have at it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But line 537030 is
If we're gonna pay for it, you know,
Okay.
537030 is
I don't
just
wanna give it to them.
after a call, yeah.
That's
So
what we use it for.
like so 4,500 sounded good for that one, because it looks like in terms of what you've already spent.
Go up.
I think so. 45 is a good number.
That's a good
Say 45.
Yep.
4,500.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I recommend.
I'm good with that.
So are we gonna put anything in for the other food, or just, or look at it, or what?
From 3356 to 4,500.
This is when we have the long extended
Right,
incidents.
exactly. I mean, you're already over 3356, so.
So what about the other food? Are we gonna do that or no?
I hear what you're saying, maybe, well, we
Well, the
have to
supplement.
still get some numbers in terms of, maybe that's something you can look at and get it back to us before we finish next week, and just look at that. And then kind of determine what that menu would look like. It'd probably be a menu that's pretty much the same menu for the whole week,
Right, okay.
and then you change it, you know, weekly, yeah, something like that, so you wouldn't have. Just a suggestion.
Any other questions on page 3?
Okay.
Moving on to transaction report.
I had a question, Chief, did y'all budget the fireworks this year?
Oh. Can you repeat the question?
I think we did, but I don't know.
I know last year you didn't have anything in your budget.
What would that mean?
I think that'd be under, there's a citywide events. I know there was a lot of things underneath there.
I know we did on that. We did.
Is it under administration?
I think it is under
Yeah,
administration.
that would make sense.
Chief, being that this is most of your folks in this budget,
Let them check fireworks.
oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I thought you, sorry about that.
Trying to find the transaction report.
I don't think we did.
What do you recommend?
Unless that
10, 15, 15? Well, we're 15. Okay. 15. Thank you.
numbers from Fire Week from the past, what we've spent.
7.
Y'all recollect about what you usually spend on that ballpark?
Maybe.
7.
7 to 8,000.
They have fire and safety education supplies, but that's different. Is that part of the fire week as well?
That's throughout the year.
So is there something different that you're looking at for this, for 2024 for Fire Week that would,
Fire Safety Week,
Fire Safety Week?
we normally partner with the Waterford Festival,
Okay,
and is growing.
okay,
Yeah.
got it, okay.
It's in admin under stationery and printing, which is 527320. So mailers, posters, flyers, banners, promotional items for community events.
Yes.
That's 5,000 total. And then event refreshments, snacks under food and dietary and admin is 6,000.
Okay. So that cover fire safety?
Safety Week, so we have it in the budget then? Okay, all
I
right.
thought we said 15.
That's just for fire safety week
Fire
only?
safety.
That whole amount?
We spread it out, yeah, because it's a week,
So you're basically just looking at 7,000 to 8,000 out of those two numbers, because we still have other events. So if we're gonna take it to 15,000, we still need to add another 7,000
Correct.
to that number.
Because we're gonna have a graduation coming up for firefighters, so we have to prepare for that event as well.
Is your microphone on?
So you said you're gonna have a graduation?
Yes, we have the graduation coming up for the fire recruits, so we'll have to have funding for that as well. Yes, ma'am.
And Chief, question, other localities, the fire week is when barracks and smoke detectors, and all
Yes.
those, y'all don't do that here?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Yeah, we have a smoke detector program.
Do you have a budget line for that? And how many on average would you say you give out every year or request?
I would say annually, I would say maybe 150 throughout the city. But we partner with the American Red Cross, who supplies the smoke detectors.
Yeah, I was about to ask if there was any grants or anything, ways that we would get donations of those items, so, okay, all right. So we're not necessarily buying those.
Now, the question I was gonna ask you, with this being your budget with the largest amount of folks in it, any rough idea about how many of you folks live in the city, by chance?
I would say maybe 3 or 4.
And
6 max,
Yeah.
6 maximum. Yeah.
Well, that's obviously a low number, too low for my taste. We had talked around a couple of years ago about looking at an, emergency management situation or whatever have you. And I always say, for this city, in my opinion, over the years, the best emergency management plan is how many employees that you can get to move into this city, and particularly police, fire, and public works. That determines what kind of emergency management plan you are going to have. Because when all holy heck breaks loose, the pay and the salary don't matter. And if your family is here, we're gonna be covered and well covered. And city manager, I want us to look at the incentives that we have presently, which may not be adequate enough. Everybody's fighting for the same employees, for the same qualified folks throughout all these cities. I want to look at increasing those incentives and significantly. We got to get our folks in here and moving into this city, because that's the safety of your city at the end of the day, if a real emergency breaks out. Because if it does, everybody's going home. Salary be darned.
And Councilor, one thing I would say, myself and Deputy Chief, we both, I'm certified FEMA 900, and we both got trained in Emmitsville. I mean, you did in Emmitsville, Maryland. I peeped
that in your resume. That's one. Well, for me, that's another reason why you're here.
I
didn't know he had.
Yeah, he had it too. We both incident commanders. Everywhere I've worked at, I'm incident commander there.
Chief, to you, it's not related to the budget. Did any of your employees took advantage of the down payment assistance that environmental developments?
Maybe one, I think, in the
That's
city.
still available? And that's in somebody's budget.
It is. It's an economic development.
5,000?
I think it's 10.
No.
It's 10.
And Joe had talked about incentives. I know that was one.
Okay.
That'll be another.
Any other questions in fire suppression?
Before you leave, it's not part of the budget, but could you just, since you are talking about retiring, could you just, before you leave, just give the group a little bit of synopsis on your vision for expanding the fire program? Cover the
Yes.
city with all the proposed developments.
Yes. Well, I would say over the next few years, because of the 6 West project, just looking at it, I do know we're going to have to increase staffing. And it's going to take Normally it takes a little bit over a year for us to train a firefighter as a firefighter and EMT or paramedic. We're looking at, currently, if we could increase it to about 9 positions, that will allow us to put an extra engine in service. So now if we respond to a fire, all of our units won't be tied up on that fire. We'll still have something available in the city. Normally we would contact East Point or the surrounding cities to help out with mutual aid, but they're having the same issues we're having. But increasing staffing, and I'm looking at 6 West, you're gonna probably need another station, because the station over here on College Street, they can't handle 6 West and the north side of town. So we were looking at if there's a possibility of a 4th station, putting it up around Camp Creek, Herschel Road, up in that area somewhere.
Are we okay to cover Rockland Home now, because they got about 400 units?
That territory is, I think it's Station 2 on Sullivan Road. We cover it, but I think if we have a station right there at Herschel, Camp Creek, it'll be a faster response time you would have to that area.
So, Chief, that will mean building another fire station?
Correct.
And then the equipment?
And equipment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Moving on to EMS. Questions on the org chart? I asked if there were any other questions on fire suppression. I apologize. Go ahead. Good. EMS? We're good? Okay. Page 1.
Who is the medical services chief?
I'm sorry.
Who is the medical services chief?
It's Ron
Chief Taylor.
Ron Taylor, yeah.
Okay.
Page 2. Transaction report.
Gee, how has the transport been since Atlanta Medical? How has the transport been since Atlanta Medical closed?
We have been doing some transport, but now we're transporting to either Grady or Piedmont Hospital. Grady handles the transport in the south area, and we will respond, the majority of the time, we would respond, assist the patient until Grady gets there, then they would transport the patient to the hospitals. But it's a slower response, especially on your real serious calls. They're having, like I said, rather than going to Atlanta Medical, they're going to Grady or either Piedmont Hospital.
I remember Dr. Yancey came before us and talked about implementing an on-call telephysicians while y'all in the field to avoid you bringing them down there. Did that work out?
They don't use it as much. And like I said, we hadn't been doing a whole lot of transport, but Grady has been. And it works when they use it.
If we promote that a little bit more, that the residents are aware, that might help. A lot of stuff, we got services that don't get promoted through communications, but hopefully we got a lot of stuff that people out there don't know about it. We got to communicate this stuff.
So what Grady Park is? I'm seeing
Grady's, in the parking lot across the street from public safety. Yeah, sometimes they park. No, they'll park in the back of the station.
At the
They just sit
racetrack
there.
still?
Yeah,
They park,
that's
yeah.
one of the staging
You
areas.
did a good job getting us covered.
Yes.
They increased, but they were advertising a certain amount of coverage, but which wasn't true. But then when we started exposing, he started
You
exposing
did a
it.
good job.
Yeah, they stepped up the number.
And Councilman, they also park right there across from Old Price Barber Shop.
Okay.
Yeah,
That-
they-
that's what
That's what we're
he's
talking about.
In that little parking area.
Any questions on the exhibits or the transaction report? Well, Chief,
The chief, you,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
and you're gonna be around to the end of the year, right? So how
August
soon?
1st. August.
I had August 1st.
August?
But,
Oh, man, that's not gonna work.
He's right there.
so in Jones. Yeah, yeah.
You ready for August?
All right, well,
Get outta here.
I think we're done at 7:17.
Thank you.
Thank you.